What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be going through my way too early Big Ten predictions for the next college football season. In this video, I'm just going to basically power rank every single Big Ten team. I haven't dig deep into the schedules yet or these rosters, so I will learn more during the offseason and give more legit predictions later in the offseason. But I just wanted to do these Big Ten rankings for fun, and it's going to be way too early. So feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. But let's start off all the way at the bottom of my Big Ten rankings. I have Northwestern at number 18. I'm not expecting much from Northwestern next year, and I expect them to be pretty bad once again. They came back down to earth in 2024, and David Braun just does not have great resources to work with. The only way I see this team being better is if Preston Stone really steps up at quarterback for this team. But a lot is going to be on the shoulders of transfer quarterback Preston Stone, and I don't see him carrying this team. I think it will be another rough year for Northwestern. Number 17, I have Maryland. This could really be a do-or-die year for Mike Locksley at Maryland. Maryland is coming off a bad 2024 season, and things could get harder for Maryland next year. Teams in the Big Ten are getting better around them, and they lost their quarterback Billy Edwards. I don't expect Maryland to be that great. I have them at number 17. A lot of people might not like this, but I have Wisconsin at 16. I am not expecting this team to take a step forward. I don't have much faith in Luke Fickell anymore. Luke Fickell is on the hot seat heading into year 3, but I don't expect this team to do much. It's been an underwhelming couple of years for Wisconsin with Luke Fickell at the head coach. They did get Billy Edwards Jr., but I don't expect him to be this game changer at quarterback. I think he will just be alright. I'm just not expecting much from this Wisconsin team in 2025, and I have them at number 16. I think teams around them are getting better. At number 15, I have UCLA. It was an up and down first year in the Big Ten for UCLA. They finished the season all right. They went 5-7. They had their ups, and they were better than people expected. They do return their quarterback Ethan Garber, so I do think they will be okay next season and maybe compete for a bowl game. But they still have a lot of work to do, and I'm not expecting them to be great. And I am only putting UCLA at number 15. Now this may be a hot take, but I think Purdue's going to be a bit better next season with Barry Odom becoming the new head coach. I think Barry Odom is a great head coach. Purdue has been absolutely terrible the last 2 seasons, but I think they will be a bit better, maybe win 4 or 5 games in 2025. And who knows, maybe they sneak their way into a bowl game. There's no surprise that the 2024 season was an absolute joke. They went 1-11, 0-9 in the Big Ten. But I have faith in Barry Odom. I think he's going to be a great head coach for UNLV. The roster is going to be completely revamped. They lost a lot of pieces this season. But I do think he will rebuild this Purdue team, and I think they will take a step forward next season. And I do have them at 14. I don't think they're going to be terrible, but they're still not going to be that good. Number 13, I have Rutgers. I think Rutgers is destined for a step back in 2025. They will return their starting quarterback, Athan Kaliakmanis, but I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback for them. He's all right, but they lose their star running back in Kyle Monangai, and that is a huge loss. And I also just don't see them keeping up with the other teams in the Big Ten. I think Rutgers is going to struggle. And losing a guy like Kyle Monangai, who was an All-American running back, is tough. So I'm expecting a step back from Rutgers. They will probably miss a bowl game. Maybe they sneak their way into a bowl game. I do like their head coach, but I'm just not expecting much from Rutgers. I have them at number 13. This may be another hot take, and people might not agree with this, but I have Iowa at number 12. I think their defense is trending downwards, and I think this team as a whole is trending downwards. They did show some great things on offense this year. Caleb Johnson was an absolute monster for them at running back, but he is gone to the NFL. Maybe Mark Gronkowski can be a difference maker for that offense next season. He's an excellent FCS transfer at quarterback. But I still just don't have great expectations for that offense. And the defense took a big step back in 2024. Iowa doesn't use the transfer portal that much, and I think teams in the Big Ten are getting better around them. I expect Iowa to take another step back, and I have them at number 12. At number 11, I have Minnesota. 2024 was a surprisingly good season for them. PJ Fleck got this team back to being a winning football program. They won 8 games and they reached bowl eligibility. But I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that momentum heading into next season, to be honest. I think they'll be alright, and I don't see them completely falling off, but they do lose a guy like Corey Heatherman. Corey Heatherman was a great defensive coordinator for this Minnesota team. And I just think there's some unknowns on the defense, and I don't see PJ Fleck keeping this momentum going. I think Minnesota will take a bit of a step back. I have them at number 11. A team that I am really expecting to take a step forward is Michigan State. I have them at number 10. Look, Jonathan Smith is a good head coach. He really turned around Oregon State with a little time. It just took a couple of years. And I expect him to do the same thing for Michigan State. I expect them to take a step forward in 2025, no doubt. And they also got their quarterback of the future in Aiden Childs. He still has some things he needs to work on, but I think he's going to be all right and take a step forward. The dude has an arm and he's very talented. He just needs to cut back on turnovers. I trust where this defense is at with Jonathan Smith, and I think they got their quarterback. I think he will take a step forward. I expect this to be an all-around solid team, and they will probably win around 6 to 8 games. And I do have them at number 10. At number 9, I have Washington. I think they will be okay again and probably take a step forward. This Washington team has a very good coaching staff, and I think that is going to help them. People might have questions about Jedd Fisch, but this team has some pretty great coordinators. And they have an underrated quarterback that is not being talked about enough. I think Damon Williams could be a very good quarterback for them. I'm expecting Washington to be okay again and be a bowl team or better, and I have them at number 9. At number 8, I have USC, and they have a lot to prove next season. Look, I don't think it's crazy to say that Lincoln Riley may be sitting in the hot seat. USC has been trending downhill, and it's been a couple of tough years for USC. The Trojans also lost a ton of talent through the portal this offseason. But I do think they have a good quarterback in Jetta Mailata, and they recruit at a very good level. I don't expect them to fall off that much. I think they will be good, and I have them at number 8. Number 7, I have Indiana. I do think Indiana has a great head coach in Curt Cignetti. He wins everywhere he goes. But I don't expect Indiana to easily win double-digit games again, and they should have a tougher schedule. I am expecting them to take a step back. Maybe they only win 8 or 9 games, but they should still be a really good team. I am interested to see what is in store for Curt Cignetti in year 2 with this Indiana team. And they got another good quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the nation, in my opinion. Fernando Mendoza can do a little bit of everything, and he's a young quarterback. He should help this Indiana team. I think they will be solid, but I am expecting a bit of a step back. I have them at number 7. Number 6, I have Nebraska. Nebraska finally got over the hump this past season, and they reached a bowl game for the first time since 2016. And heading into 2025, I think this team is in a great spot with Matt Rhule heading into year 3. They have a lot to build on with their former 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola back for his second season as the starter. They have done a really good job in the transfer portal. They got Dane Key, a great receiver from Kentucky, and they got some big pieces on defense. I think this team is destined to take a step forward. Matt Rhule always has a great year 3, and I have them at number 6. They could be a dark horse for the playoffs. Another dark horse for the playoffs next season is Michigan, and I have them at number 5. Look, I think the defense is in good hands. They should have a really good defense. But a lot is going to rely on the hands of the 5-star true freshman quarterback in Bryce Underwood, who would likely start for this team. The question is he going to be as good as people think he is? He is the highest rated player for On3 ever as a quarterback. There is so much hype on this guy's name. But there's a lot of pressure on him, so I don't know if this team will make the playoffs, but I am expecting them to take a step forward. I think the defense will be good, and they had a great end to the 2024 season. I think they are trending in the right direction and have a great culture. They also got a beast at running back in Justice Haynes. They're losing some NFL talent, but I do think they will be good. And I have them at number 5. At number 4, I have Illinois. This team won 10 games in 2024, and they returned just about everybody. They returned 18 starters and their star quarterback, Luke Altmaier. I see no reason to not believe this team will be a playoff contender next year, and I actually have them in my 12-team playoffs. They might not win the Big Ten, but this team returns a lot, and they should definitely be really good again, and I have them at number 4. Number 3, I have the Oregon Ducks. I think this team does have some question marks. They lose quarterback Dillon Gabriel. They lose a bunch of seniors on defense and even on offense too. But I still think this team is absolutely a national title contender. Because of the talent they have and the head coach in Dan Lanning, this coaching staff is together, and I think this team will be fine. The former 5-star quarterback Dante Moore is expected to replace Dillon Gabriel, so a lot is going to rely on the hands of Dante Moore. Can he live up to the potential? But they also got a quarterback in Austin Novosad. Watch out for him. He might start. Oregon's going to be an interesting team, and I think they have too many questions. I'm not predicting them to win the Big Ten, but they should be a playoff team, and I have them at number 3. At number 2, I have Ohio State. And similar to Oregon, I think this team's an interesting team, and they have some question marks heading into next season. They are still absolutely a national title contender, and they have a bunch of talent. They are one of the most talented teams in the country. But they lost both their coordinators. They have a question mark at quarterback, and they lost a bunch of NFL talent. But it's Ohio State. I have to have them at the top of my rankings, and I have them at number 2. They still have Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs returning. This is a very good team. And lastly, at number 1, I am making the bold prediction. I think Penn State will win the Big Ten. They returned their star quarterback, Drew Aller, one of the best returning quarterbacks in the nation. They also returned Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, 2 running backs who you could actually consider top 5 running backs in the nation. The offense looks very good heading into year 2 with offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki. I think the offense is going to be very good. And they always have a solid defense, and they made the addition of adding Jim Knowles from Ohio State, one of the best defensive coordinators in the nation. The reason I'm so high on this team is because they have a similar story to Ohio State and Michigan of the last 2 seasons, and both those teams won the national championships. Penn State is a team that returns a bunch of veteran players, and they have been taking the steps in the right direction. They also have a head coach who nobody believes in, just like nobody believed in Ryan Day or Jim Harbaugh before. They have been constantly good and consistently good, and this past season, I don't think people gave them the flowers that they deserved. The offense took a big step forward, and they were a top 5 team in 2024. And there's no reason not to believe that this team won't take another step forward next season with the culture that they have. So I have Penn State at number 1. I think they will honestly win the Big Ten. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. Let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.